Hi, I'm Daniel, and in this video I'll discuss the new Pixar movie Hoppers. It's a week after I saw it, but I'm still continuing my streak of reviewing each new Pixar movie since so. I've been looking forward to this one, hearing it had Daniel Chong directing, who created the show We Were Bears that I really like, and I made some videos on it before. The show is very wholesome and funny in a style that just seemed like a great match for Pixar, and this movie really ended up great. I defend modern Pixar movies a lot, and really liked EO, and still do. Even with the behind the scenes issues, and Pete Docter describing a gay protagonist as therapy. How is that therapy when he literally made a movie about emotions? And that's my favourite movie too. While some of these recent things at Pixar continue to sound good, I think the original movies remain very excited. EO was good, but it did feel a bit too yucking and basic from a structural standpoint. That just started to feel like any other Pixar movie. While I doubt Hoppers will come on the studio's most acclaimed film, it is off to a great start critically and financially for an original film. That makes me very happy. This just cements a new start for Pixar originals that is very funny, creative, and a strong movie that will look at the why in this video. The story involves Mabel trying to protest for the environment for the mayor, and she gets in contact with hopping technology to put your brain in a robot animal that can speak to other animals. She uses this to try and save the grades, and in turn incite animal evolution. This is quite similar to Studio Ghibli's Pompoko that I already love more than most do. This also had the switch from realistic to cartoon animal designs, and this movie is great at showing the gradual fight back against the humans in a very funny, thematic and paying way. This creates a semi-energy in its messages, and just how crazy some of these plot beats go. The way this plot escalates in the second half is very fun, with this car scene being one of the most fun moments I've seen in a film recently. And the climax is also very strong. Even before that, I thought this was paced, given the right amount of setup to Mabel's plight and showing good animal antics at the pond. I really like how it's handled the environmental message, but looked at from a more personal view of trying to fight for a cause and feeling crazy that no one else seems to care. I like how this shows Mabel's community and King George ideology and everyone being part of the same pond. One element of the plot definitely feels way too optimistic, but it fits the theme to not always look at things as us versus them, and it still made some point that not everyone can be talked to or convinced out of things. This has that theme be central to the narrative, while also telling it in a fun and well-written way. I was dreading a Yaya reveal for all of this, but the way that scene was actually told is very effective, and it isn't held on for that long by where the plot proceeds to go. The dramatic beats work, this is more of a comedy than most Pixar films are. There's some occasionally unfunny and cliche lines, like guys are gonna wanna see this, but this most just has your funny one-liners and interactions. It's mainly just some of these characters and situations that are constantly very funny. There's also a good setup to conveying this great cartoon animation. It's not quite one of my favourite animation styles, but I like how this looks more distinct than with expressive movement and the Yard Koya. The greens and browns of nature look so great here, especially with a strong score accompanying the movie and adding to the atmosphere. The characters in this movie are also very good. Mabel is a strong main character with the weirdo protagonist being nothing new, but it's so overused for a reason. I really like her high energy and the very much has over the story. The grandma backstory is probably the most typical Pixar part of this movie, but it works well at adding to her want to protect this place, and adding an X-ray to her character. King George is also great, as someone who starts off comedic, but is used very well for how his own angle of life is analysed. The bond Mabel forms him is very nice, and I just like these positive characters. Then we get Mayor Jerry, who's already such an icon, and probably one of the funniest Pixar characters. I enjoy his presentation of a corrupt politician, who's just constantly arguing as one yoga protester. Just to see him getting ready in the morning is so fun, alongside everything done with him in the third act. The actual villain also works well, it's very funny, but also threatening in how far they take it. The rest of the side characters are slightly underused. The scientists are okay, I like this group of friends, mainly youth being such a vibe, but they don't really add much or make the movie like the other side characters do. It was at least funny that Meryl Streep was cast as the Insect Queen only for that role to be that. This counter was still a fun idea though, and I most just enjoy where the story goes. I saw you cast the characters in what is another hit from Pixar. In conclusion, I give Hobbs an 8 out of 10 on the high end of that rating, with little promise I have with it, but just not enough for me to give it a 9. Still such a great movie, and I'm satisfied to call it the best movie of 2026 so far. It's not out of much though. I highly recommend watching it as a sign that we're in a great era of mainstream animated films, even if I'm not always as excited about them as I used to be. I'm still not fully sure on Toy Story 5, with me strongly defending how far it ended, and this just to like another fun time rather than an emotional ending, but the trailer looks good, and no matter what, it'll be the best Andrew Stanton movie of 2026. I can't stress enough how bad in the blink of an eye is. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, consider checking out my previous video counting down the best 2025 movies. Although I was 2 months late, and even then, less than 2 weeks later I watched another movie that will make the top 10. To briefly mention it now, Sirât involves a father looking for his daughter with his son, and they tag along with some ravers trek along the roadiest desert to the next rave. This was sort of fun to spend time in this group, only to get really depressive and moving in the second half. There's a lot to analyse what the story could represent, and it's told with booming sound design and score, as well as shooting its location in really dynamic ways. This seems to be one of the Vice nominees to the Oscars this year, but I loved it and gave it 9 out of 10. Anyway, I might have another video out later this month, and also I guess the Super Mario Galaxy movie is on the way as well. The end.